Welcome everybody to the second Global Developer Town Hall. I'm Jonathan Siddharth, CEO and co-founder of Turing.com, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to Turing. This is the first time we are trying Goalcast, which is a new software, and I'm checking. Let me quickly check that audio video is good with my team. In today's town hall, I also have my product lead for vetting, Char, who you'll hear from later on. So let me quickly check that we're good in terms of audio and video. So if you're able to hear me, can you send a message on the thread just that you can hear me? And we'll give people maybe a minute to trickle in, and then we get started. Oh, great. Hi, Mohammed. Hi, Musa. Hi, Palesh. Welcome. It's so great to see you all. So the first developer town hall we did, we ended up breaking Zoom. So we hit Zoom's limit. I didn't know Zoom had a limit. So we had about 500 people attend. And then I heard from several hundred people that they couldn't join because Zoom said we had hit their meeting limit. So we switched to a new provider, and I hear that we have about 1,000 people in the audience. Right? So hello to all of you. It's great to meet 1,000 of you. Turing, as you know, has about 220,000 developers registered. So I'm super excited to get started. We'll give 30 seconds for folks to join, and then we'll get started. In today's town hall, I'm going to talk about three things. First, I'll share a little bit about Turing, why Turing exists, why we started the company, and where the company is today, to give you a little bit of background about the company and what we can do for you. And the second, I'm going to talk specifically about what you can do to use Turing to get to the next level in your career. We really want you to be able to work remotely for US tech companies and other amazing technology companies. So we want you to be able to work remotely for the world's best tech companies. And I'm going to give you some specific feedback on things that you can do to make sure you stand out and move forward through the process. And third, I'll spend some time on Q&A to make sure that I answer questions for you. We have a process where you can submit questions, and then the questions will get moderated and come in, and you can vote on which questions are most helpful for you, so that you can so that I'll then focus on addressing that. Does that sound fun? Hi, Aaron. Hi, Recep. Hi, Gaurav. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go through a couple of slides together. I hope you can see my screen. So Turing exists to help connect you with amazing job opportunities across the world. Right? I think a company needs to be able to hire and work with the best people in the world. Not necessarily the best people who happen to live near the office. Okay? And if you are an engineer, you need access to opportunity where you're working with the best companies all over the world, not the best companies that happen to have their offices near where you live. So to give you a little bit of background, I grew up in Chennai in India. And then I did my master's at Stanford University in California, where I specialized in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And if I had stayed in India, at least at that time, the only technology companies in Chennai, there were about 3 companies, I think, and that was it. But when I came to the US, the thing that was interesting was all these amazing technology companies that had their offices in California. And there was no way I could have had access to those opportunities living. If I was limiting my my search radius to just that set. And that's why we built Turing. We want every one of you to have access to amazing jobs, regardless of where you live. So you don't really have to move. Like, what if you could stay where you are and still have access to these amazing tech jobs, right? That's why we built Turing. And Turing today is backed by investors who invested in Google, Facebook, SpaceX, Tesla, etc. Right? So here you go. So Turing is backed by engineering leaders and product leaders from Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Twitter, Uber, Snap, Tesla, etc. One of the founders of Upwork is also an investor in Turing. We have raised $50 million to build Turing and to create the future of remote work. We are focused on making sure that we can connect you with the best job opportunities on the planet. That's why we come into work every day. And we have 220,000 developers signed up today from all over the world. And for us at Turing, we have three major goals for you. We want you to enjoy amazing compensation growth. We want you to be able to financially grow farther than you are today. We care deeply about your career growth, and we want to give you access to an amazing global community of Turing developers. So these are the three C's of Turing: compensation growth, career growth, and community. And I'm going to share a quick video from some of the successful Turing developers today. We have amazing success stories of developers who are former Microsoft employees. Here is one such video.
Hi, my name is Robson, but you can call me Rob. I live in São Paulo, Brazil, and this is how its traffic jam looks like. Terrible, isn't it? People need to get to their offices, and they can't help but face this every single morning. Luckily for me, this is how my mornings look like. Yeah, the dog walks me. 1 year ago, I was struggling to go to work, but now I can enjoy some time outside before starting my duties. Oops, bad timing. Can you think of a better way to kick off your day? Neither do I. Hey honey, say hi to the audience.
Since I joined Turing last year, I started to work remotely from home, and that dramatically improved my life quality. It's unbelievable how much stuff I can do while people out there waste their time commuting trying to get to their offices.
With the time I save working from home, I can go to the gym and keep fit. Okay, this is my wife's work, sorry.
I've never felt so productive before. I mean, avoiding the stressful traffic jams, eating better, exercising, all that stuff keeps my brain in good shape.
Besides that, it's hard to concentrate on those crowded offices, while at home, there's nobody to distract me. Almost nobody. It all started when I saw a Turing ad on Instagram. I created an account, took some programming tests, and made some interviews. Only 2 weeks later, I had a fantastic new job. Turing helped me reach a new level in my career. This is what they've promised me: steady incomes, timely payments, work on interesting projects, work with nice people, recognition among peers. They fulfilled all of them.
I always wanted to work for an American company. I mean, they've created this business, right? Where else could I work with the best and learn from the best?
Getting an American working visa, it's not easy though. And this is probably the best news about Turing. I don't need a visa because I can work from anywhere in the globe. As they say, the future of work is remote. 1 year ago, I made a life-changing decision, and I hope to meet you here. Join Turing. Enjoy life.
All right. So has the video stopped for everyone? Yeah. Thanks for the responses. So it looks like the video has stopped. That's great. Yeah. So you've seen the video before, and you can see it on our website. So for the rest of the chat, it's just going to be you and me speaking. And cool. So the video stopped. That's great. So the first thing you need to do at Turing is to create your profile. Okay. And there are the first step there is to upload your resume. And when you upload your resume, Turing software will automatically pull out skills and technologies from your resume. So you don't have to do a lot of work. Don't worry if your resume is not fully up to date. That's totally okay. So don't block on that step. And then I'd recommend that you take one automated test at Turing, just one. So do that one test, and that'll be the first step to getting started. Today, Turing is focused primarily on software engineering roles. So we'll move to other areas soon, but today we are focused primarily on software engineering. So we have roles for full stack, front end, back end, mobile, AI, data science, DevOps, etc. And we have a variety of tech stacks. For example, for a full stack developer, we have automated vetting for React for the front end, Angular for the front end, Node, Django, etc. for the back end, and so on. And then we try to evaluate your seniority level. Turing has its own engineering ladder that's very similar to the ladder that companies like Facebook, Google, etc. use. So we have an individual contributor level 3, individual contributor level 4, tech lead manager, etc. So our vetting is designed to assess where you fit in for the job type, tech stack, and engineering ladder. Right? And our goal at Turing, what would make us really happy, is either A, you go through the vetting and we are able to figure out what company you'd be a great match for and match you with that company. So that's our goal number one. It would really make us very, very happy if you're working remotely for amazing US companies. In case, as you go through the vetting, you're not successful, or you, for some reason, you're not able to finish the vetting fully, you will still receive really useful feedback on what are the areas to focus on if you want to work remotely for the best technology companies in the world. So either you'll get matched successfully to a company and you can you have an amazing job, an amazing career, and you can keep growing, or you will receive feedback on what to work on, and you can work on those areas and then come back 6 months from now, 12 months from now, and then we will help you get matched. So there's really no way you can lose. The only way to lose is if you don't try, right? So I would highly encourage you to go through Turing's vetting. We've designed the process of going through vetting to be positive to developers, so that you get something out of it. And there are two things you'll get out of Turing, regardless of whether you pass all the vetting steps or not. Two things you'll get for free. Number one, the Turing product will help you write an amazing resume. I'm an engineer, and I know a lot of my friends who are engineers as well. The one thing we all don't like doing is like writing resumes, right? Like writing resumes is boring. Writing resumes is like, I mean, we like to write code. We don't like to write resumes. But unfortunately, resumes are important if you want to get noticed by the right companies in the right opportunities. And the Turing product will help you write your resume to showcase your prior work experience and your educational experience in the best possible way. And once you've improved your resume, you can download it and keep it with you. You can use it anywhere you want. You can use it with other companies. You can use it when you apply. So it'll forever be useful for you to go through the Turing vetting process. So you'll get a great resume out of it. Number two, you will get feedback on areas you're strong at and areas that you maybe want to practice a little bit for. And that practice is important for everybody, right? It's important for everybody to have a little bit of practice. In fact, one of my friends who is in a senior engineering leadership role at Google, He told me that at Google, if every Google engineer right now was interviewed again, the success rate that they would pass Google's interview again maybe is about 50% or something like that. Right? So that's because interviews and all of that is inherently noisy. Right? So everybody needs a little bit of practice, and you need to work on this, and Turing will help you. So going through this process will give you some idea on areas to focus on, areas to improve on. So even if you don't go through the process fully today, you'll receive the right kind of direction to come back. Maybe Turing would say that, hey, you're very strong in React, you're very strong in Node, but you may want to brush up on data structures and algorithms. Or you may want to brush up, you may want to practice your systems design questions. So this would be super useful for you regardless. So I would highly encourage that you go through the process, upload your resume, and take one test. And it would make us so happy to have you working remotely for the world's best technology companies. Turing today has more than 75 companies hiring developers from the platform, more than 75. Right? And more companies are coming on board Turing. So it's going to be very I would really like it if 2 to 3 years from now, you are all working in product companies, technology companies, in innovative projects, working with very senior people, and you have leveled up. You've been promoted, you've been leveled up, you've grown. That's what I would really, really like. And that's what we're here to support you with. I'm going to pause for a little bit to take some questions. I know some of the common questions people have, so we're going to run through that. So the first question is a question by Adisha. I passed all technical tests and finalized my resume. What happens next? Okay. Great question. So what happens next is a human technical interview. So Turing's process is there is automated tests. These usually take about 4 to 5 hours. And then there is a human technical interview. You'll interview with someone from the Turing team. That's about 30 minutes. And then after that, you're in our system. After that, there is no more work that you have to do. You don't have to take tests anymore. You're done, right? And now our team is going to be working hard night and day to make sure we can match you with the best job opportunity for you to work remotely for a US company. You don't have to do anything. And you can say yes. You can say, okay, so when we come to you with a job, you could say, this job sounds super interesting. I'm going to quit my current job and I'm going to work for this company. Or you could say, this job, I'm not quite sure this is the right opportunity for me. Why don't you keep me in mind for something different? And then we would come back. You tell us what you would like, and we would come back with another opportunity. So that's the process. So you can think of it like there are 3 steps. The first is passing automated vetting, like that 4 to 5 hours of tests. Then there's a 30-minute human interview. And then after that, you speak with someone at Turing who'll go over a job with you, go over the compensation details. And then if you decide that that's the right job for you, you start working with that company, right? So I've answered that question. So the second question is from Julio. It's from Musa. How long does it take for Turing to find me an opportunity after I passed the technical test? So this is a little bit hard to answer since it depends on the tech stack that you are proficient in. For example, today at Turing, React Node full stack jobs are in high demand, and high quality machine learning engineers are also in high demand, as are iOS, Android, and a few others. And on our website, we keep sharing what skills are in high demand. For the jobs that are in high demand, if you pass the job, we'll match you with a customer that same day, right? But there are some jobs that are in less high demand where it might take a little bit longer. Sometimes it can be a few weeks. Sometimes it can even be months, right? It's taken, like, sometimes it's a very rare skill. But the good news for you is you don't have to do anything. I mean, you're going to pass the test, And after that, you're just going to sit back and wait. No more interviews, no more tests. You passed. Turing will keep the fact that you have passed our vetting in our database for at least a year. So you don't have to do anything. Like we would proactively be reaching out to you to help you get matched. So Musa, so to your question, I would ask the Turing onboarding operations specialist that you're with in terms of for your skill stack, how much time it would take. One thing I'm thinking that we should probably build in our system is give people automated ETAs for this based on the tech stack itself. Would that be something that would be useful? Like if we showed in the Turing platform, hey, if you're a Python developer, expected time to be matched is this much time. If you're a Java developer, expected time is this much. Would that be helpful? If that would be helpful, you can tell me on the messages. We don't have that today, but maybe we should. Musa, Samik thinks that's a good idea. Yeah, thank you for that feedback. Like this is very helpful. Okay, so we've done that. So now let's go to William. Is there any possibility to retake a skill exam so that I can get a high score in technology I have been practicing? Yes, you can. You can retake a skill exam. I think our team has a certain time period that you have to wait before retaking it. The reason we have that time period is we are still creating more and more test questions that are useful, and we don't want it to be like somebody's taken a test and they don't pass, but now they've seen all the questions, so they can practice just those same questions and immediately come back. So we don't obviously want that. So that's why there is a little bit of a time gap. One thing we are thinking about is adding more and more questions and randomizing it so that even if you came back immediately, we could still let you retake the test, but the questions would be different, so that we can give you a chance. And I'm with you. Like, interviews are not perfect, tests are not perfect. Sometimes maybe you were unlucky. You saw some questions that sort of maybe are not really things that you practiced in a while. So we really want to make it possible for great people to get through. So our approach might be to add more questions so that you can retake it sooner. Today, I think we have a 6 month there's like a 6. I'll check with my team. I think Char can answer that. Actually, let me quickly check. Char, like for our tests today, what's the frequency at which they can retake it? Like how soon can they come back and retake a test that they didn't pass the first time?
Mm-hmm. Yep, John. Hey guys, I'm joining to answer the question quickly. So this is a great question. Thank you so much for asking. So after, so it depends on the which one it is, because not all technologies are equal. So after 3 to 6 months, depending on technology, you'll be able to retake the test, and that applies for technical interviews and other things as well. So what we like to recommend is also the tests are not like binary. It's like, hey, I got to score like 90% on this one. We actually look at a variety of dimensions within the test. For example, it's like, are you good at like the multi-threading? So we also look at polymorphism, like all aspects of a language, for example, to make sure that you're matched accordingly to the right jobs that you will thrive in. So recommendation is go ahead, take it, no fear. And even if it doesn't go well, let's say you score 0%, you can still come back about 3 to 6 months later to retake the test.
Thank you, Char. All right, so I'm going to more questions. This is great. So is Turing planning to add Java stack to its available stacks? We have Java already. So we have vetting for Java. It's just that in today's world, one thing I see is that a lot of companies are not using Java anymore, at least in Silicon Valley, in California, and the USA. Java is becoming less popular. So that's why we don't see a lot of jobs for Java. Today, we see a lot of jobs for React, Node, Python, iOS, Android. We also see it for Golang. But for some reason, Java is not super popular anymore, which is kind of interesting. Like when I was in grad school at Stanford, like it was all Java at that time. Python was slowly sort of becoming popular, but now Python seems to be a lot more popular for backend. So we do have Java, and that's a great example, Samir, where you go through the process, get vetted for Java, but then you're in our database. So the next time we have a Java opportunity, like we'll match it with developers who passed Java. So I would still go through the process. This is a case where it might take us longer to match you with a company, but at least for you, there is no extra work. You've just done all the work, and you're probably. So let me ask Samir quote, who asked this question. Samir, what do you do today? Like, where do you work? So you just stay at that job, like you just keep working where you're working, and once we have an amazing Java job opportunity for you, only at that time you need to. So you're a senior Java developer. That's good. So only when we have a job opportunity, you need to do anything. So there's no. This is just pure upside for you, right? Like as long as you pass our test, you don't have to do any other work. And one benefit of being with Turing is that once you pass Turing's vetting, the 4 hours of automated vetting, the 30 minutes of manual interview, and then the onboarding chat, after that, like you don't have to keep interviewing. So typically when we match you with a company, they have like usually just one interview, and sometimes there's no interview. There's no interview at all, and we'll coach you on how to succeed in that one interview as well. And even if that particular company wasn't a good fit, we'd keep matching you with other companies so that you can keep getting matched. And I know interviewing is not really super fun, so it's good with Turing because once you do it and get through it, like you don't have to keep doing it. And one of the things we're working on at Turing is a way for you to download your developer profile from Turing so that you can take it with you when you apply to other job opportunities too. So that if somebody wants to interview you or asks you about your vetting, you could tell them, hey, Turing vetted me. Here is my profile. You can see you can see my score, so that it stays with you. Turing will be a more powerful profile for you, a Turing profile, than LinkedIn or GitHub. In LinkedIn, it's just people saying what they're good at. But in Turing, we actually validate your skills. And in GitHub, it's just a link to code you've written, but there's no sort of assessment of how good the code is. So with Turing, you'll benefit there. All right. So let me go to the next question with Raja Titan Rajashekar. Can I work for the US company from anywhere in the world? Do I need a US bank account to credit my compensation? Yes, you can work for the US company from anywhere in the world, except for a few countries that the US government has sanctions on that we are not allowed to. That's only a small handful of countries. It sounds like you're from India. Of course, from India, you can work remotely for a US company. You don't need a US bank account to credit your compensation. And we take care of payments. We support a wide variety of payments. In fact, one question people often have is, how do I get paid? Right? So I'm going to bring Char back to stage again to answer the question of how do I get paid? What's the payment process like? What formats do you support? How frequently do I get paid? That's a great question, right? So on to you, Char.
Yeah. Thank you so much for asking this question. So at Turing, I would say this is like one of the greatest things that developers enjoy. Turing offers a wide range of payment options. So when I say wide range, like we really go like one step beyond. So I know that a lot of companies who use like either like an ACH, either it's just a wire or the was it PayPal, like very limited options. However, we work with you on what options are available for you locally, and what will make sure that you get paid on time. Think about all the delays that are happening in the banking system. So just let us know what option is best for you, and we will make sure that that's happening. And as John mentioned before, one of the 3 C's of Turing promise to you is compensation. We want to make sure that you're happy, and we want to make sure you're paid on time and paid well. So do not worry about having a US bank account. go ahead and when you are a Turing engineer, just let us know and we will take care of it.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Char. All right. So that question is answered. So there's another question. Do you find positions for .NET developers? Yes. So we've had .NET developers matched on the platform for customers, just like we've had Java developers matched on the platform with customers. .NET is slightly less common among United States technology companies, but it is still, we do have jobs for that, and we have matched developers successfully for .NET. So how can I get paid from Turing is answered. You get paid monthly based on the hours that you worked. Any plan for data science roles? We have a lot of data science roles. So my background is actually in machine learning and data science. We have a lot of data science roles. I think the market for good data scientists is very, very hot in the US. So if you're a data scientist, you should absolutely apply. And of course, data science is very broad. So Anshuman, you asked the question of data science. Did you really mean data science, or did you mean artificial intelligence? We'll wait for Anshuman to respond. Okay. And is there a human involved in the entire end-to-end process? Yeah, so that's a great question. I mean, a company that's called Turing, is it like it definitely invokes that question? Is there a human involved, or is it all AI? Right. So the answer is yes, there is a human involved. So the way our process works is first step is you pass the automated vetting, and then there is a human interview that happens after you pass the automated vetting. And then after that, you speak with someone from Turing HR who will talk to you about the opportunities that we have on Turing, a specific job that we have in mind for you, what the compensation would look like, and so on. And throughout that process, we have humans from Char's team looking at who's passing the tests, what are some things we can do to improve our tests, and so on. So we keep. So there are a lot of humans involved in the process. Like the Turing team, can anyone guess how big the Turing team is? In the messages, you can write a number. How big is Turing the company today? In terms of number of people who work here. Soumik guessed 50. Any other guesses? 200, maybe 5,000, 20,000, 1,000. Okay, good guesses. So we are at more than 100 people working on the company today. There are a lot more. Of course, if we count our developers working with customers, that's a lot higher, but we won't count that. So it's closer to 120, and the team is rapidly growing, and we are hiring. So if you're interested in working for Turing itself, you should also email. You should email us at. You can email me at jonathan.s@turing.com, and if it's a match, I'll route you to the right people. But yeah, but we have these amazing companies on the platform that are doing cool things that I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to work for. So Soumik asks, in the website, I see that the company has 2-week free trial with the Turing candidate. What does that mean? Great question. So when Turing matches a developer with a customer, again, this is a pre-vetted developer, right? So we know that the match will very likely be successful. To make sure that both the developer and the customer has a great experience, we have this 2-week trial period. Think of it as a way for both of you to get to know each other, to make sure that this is the right fit, the right mutual fit. And if for some reason, let's say the developer decides that it's not a good match, or the customer decides that it's not a good match, if the customer decides that, okay, this collaboration is not really working out, maybe the technical skills are not up to par, or the seniority level is not up to par, or the collaboration communication is not working, or the reliability is not very good, then the customer can end the trial. In that case, Turing will still pay the developer, but the customer will not pay Turing. So we will still pay the developer, like for the work done in that 2-week period. We obviously want the 2-week trials to be successful because that's when you you get paid, your compensation grows over time, your payment grows over time. So we both want the trial to be successful, but sometimes trials are not successful for a variety of reasons. But even in that case, Turing will pay you for the hours that you worked in that 2-week period. That's the 2-week trial. It's not really a free trial. It's more like if for some reason a customer stops in that 2-week period, then Turing will not be paid by the customer, but Turing will still pay the developer. So I've answered that question. I'm going to quickly see if there's another different type of question. So is there a possibility for someone to apply for more than one position? For example, someone who's good in cloud and mobile and ML. Inoma asked this question. Somebody who's great in cloud and mobile and machine learning. So I'm going to let Char answer that question.
Hey guys, here again. Maybe I'll stick around for a little bit during the Q&A. Yeah. So this is a fantastic question. Thank you so much for asking. So short answer is yes, there's a possibility.
Yep, I think there's some glitch in the software. Yes, so there is a possibility. So you should reach out to Aditya and Char, and they can share more details.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The my browser just refreshed. Yes, the short answer is yes. There's definitely a feel free to apply to as many positions as possible. So when you become a Turing engineer, you're joining a community of elite talent cloud engineers. So that means we're considering you for not just one position or one type of a thing, but we will make sure that you're considered for a wide variety of opportunities, everything that you qualify for. And we, in fact, want to make sure that you are you have a variety of projects to work on so that things are interesting. Now, what does it mean for this? If you're good at let's say a mobile and ML, then we will consider you for both of them and suggest you different opportunities accordingly. So go ahead and take the tests in those areas, and you will be considered for those.
Cool. Thank you, Char. So I'm going to run through some questions really quickly now. Can we get long-term, part-time working positions? So Turing is really focused on full-time positions. We believe that to do great work, you need to be fully committed in what you're doing. On rare occasions, we make exceptions for part-time, but you should assume that's very, very rare. So it's primarily full-time. Thank you, Mufid, for that question. So we've answered Inoma's question. So Davidi asks, any plans for engineering manager positions? Absolutely. So we have roles for engineering managers. So if you're qualified, you should apply. In fact, you should be. This is something that is in high demand. So if you're an engineering manager candidate, you should email Aditya Char, and we can help you. Rajat asks, how can we manage working in different time zones? So for time zones, we typically have found that at least 4 hours of overlap between you and the US company is required and helpful for a high quality collaboration. So about 4 hours of time zone overlap. Some companies say that even that is not needed, but usually companies ask for about 4 hours of overlap. So when we do a match, we try to make sure that for you and the customer, the time zone matches. In fact, we get the customer and the developer to agree to a time zone that works for both of them. And maybe in the customer's time zone, maybe in the United States Pacific time zone, it's 11 a.m. Pacific time to 7 p.m. Pacific time, say. And then we require that the developer commit to that time zone so that you're working the same. You have roughly the same start time, the same end time, so that it results in a high quality collaboration. Typically, for a company, it's not very productive if your working hours keeps fluctuating too much. So we try to avoid that. Okay. And Mohammed asks, I live in Europe. What are the possibilities of finding a position that will work with Central Europe time zone? Excellent possibilities. We have plenty of developers working from Europe, Eastern Europe, etc. So don't worry about time zone, because we have enough customers who are hiring from all over the world that we will make sure that the match is not a time zone that is unacceptable for you. The only ask that we have is your time zone is consistent. Whatever you agree to, you stick to that time zone. That's our only ask. So you have to figure out a time zone that you are comfortable working with for several months and stick to that. Obviously, don't pick a time zone where you will burn out. We don't want you to burn out. Ulag asks, can someone that is already working apply? Absolutely, yes. In fact, a lot of the people applying are people who currently have a job. Most of the people applying to Turing are people who are currently working at another company, but they want to work remotely for US companies, technology companies, product companies on innovative projects with people with exciting backgrounds, the same people who built companies like Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon, etc. And this is an opportunity to work with great people. For me, when I moved from India to the United States to go to school at Stanford, for me, the biggest, I would say, the opportunity was to work with people with a lot of experience that I didn't have access to in my country or in the city where I was. So that's the opportunity that you have. Instead of you relocating to Silicon Valley or the US, we are bringing those jobs to you, right? Like, so that you can participate. Like, we believe that talent is universal, opportunity is not, and we want to bridge the talent opportunity gap. So Panaglotis asks, are most of these matchups planned to be long-term, or are they project-related? Great question. So typically, an engagement at Turing lasts about 6 to 12 months, maybe a little bit more than 12 months. And once an engagement is winding down, our team will already be working behind the scenes to make sure you're matched with somebody else in line with your career goals, the technologies that you want to work on, and so on. Keep in mind that even if you're working at a company today, and you are, I'm sure many of you have jobs today, you're working at a company today, that company can fire you at any time in most places. Right? That company can fire you at any time. The company can tell you that, hey, your job is no longer required. Or maybe the company is in trouble. Maybe the company is not doing so well. Business is not doing so well, so they could do layoffs. So the company that you're working at today can fire you at any time. And if they fire you, or if you quit, normally you have to do all the work to find the next opportunity for you. But if you're on Turing, our team, once an engagement ends, our team is good. We have a metric that is focused on making sure that somebody who's currently working with a customer, when an engagement ends, how quickly can we match them with somebody else? So we are focused on that. So with Turing, you have the support of an entire company behind you to take your career to the next level. All right, so let's do something fun while I have you all. So you may have seen this cool Turing hoodie, right? There's a really cool limited edition Turing hoodie that a lot of the Turing team wears. It's a very high quality hoodie, super comfortable. And at the back it says, build boundaryless teams. And Turing is about building boundaryless teams. Like, we think the future of work is not remote, it's boundaryless. Where you live doesn't matter. Like, everyone has access to the equal opportunity to grow their career and to grow their future. Now, I'm going to give away a Turing hoodie to the winner of a Twitter contest. So it's a Twitter and LinkedIn contest. You can use Twitter or you can use LinkedIn, or both. If you use both, it increases your chance of winning. So I want you to tweet what you enjoy about working remotely. So I like working remotely because, and write out why you want to work, why you like working remotely, and CC at TuringCom. Right? So Turing's Twitter handle is TuringCom. So CC at TuringCom, so our social media team can spot you. And I will give away a Turing hoodie to the best the best caption. So I like working remotely because, and write out why you like working remotely and why remote work is the future of work. And Turing's Twitter handle is TuringCom. You may have seen it. So you can see this is Turing's Twitter handle. So tag us and like the winner will get this cool Turing hoodie. Musa says, I need one. I love it. That's great. Yeah, it's super nice. And it's a limited edition hoodie for our first, for some of our early developers. So you can share that and add a link to Turing.com as well. And our social media team will find you. So you can use @TuringCom, TuringCom. And the prompt is, I like working remotely because, okay, Nishit just shared, I like working remotely because I get to take a nap with my fiance post-lunch. That's great. That's a great reason to work remotely, Nishit. I love it. I recommend using Twitter, so @TuringCom. And if you don't have a Twitter account, use LinkedIn and share a link to Turing.com as well. All right. So let me see if there are any other questions that are highly voted that I haven't answered. So after a successful 2-week trial with a company, how long is a typical contract with them? Great question. So like I said, a typical engagement is usually 6 to 12 months. Sometimes it's a little bit more than 12 months. But as the engagement is coming to an end, and we will know perfectly when an engagement will come to an end, right? You won't be surprised. We will be working behind the scenes to make sure you're matched with another company that matches your career goals and your compensation goals. Compared to your current job, in your current job, if somebody is about to fire you or somebody is about to let you go, you probably will have no warning. Like one day you'll show up for work and they'll tell you maybe your job is no longer required or the company is doing layoffs, and they'll suddenly do that and it'll be unpredictable and scary. Whereas at Turing, we know how long engagements typically go, and we are constantly going to keep making sure that you're working on a full-time capacity with exciting companies, because that's Turing's business. Like Turing as a company makes money when you are successfully working with a company for a long time. So Turing has perfect skin in the game with you. So Louis asks, how necessary is it to have conversational English level? I would say not super high, but you need to be able to participate in a brainstorm. So let's say you're in a meeting with a lot of engineers and somebody's discussing an architecture for a new system or discussing a change to an algorithm. You need to be able to follow when the rest of the team who's based in the United States, they're talking in English. You need to be able to follow, to participate, to contribute, to ask questions. So that level of English. Right? Nothing super great. Written English communication is more important. And of course, your technical skill is even more important. We don't need you to be a phenomenal public speaker. So Naveen asks, okay, we've answered Naveen's question, answered the question of human involved. Musa asks, can I apply to a job directly in the job page in my dashboard? So this is an exciting feature that's coming up in Feb. So pretty soon you will be able to. So Basil asks, how much time does it take to move from the Turing test step to the technical assessment step in the platform? I've passed 2 skill tests, but I'm still blocked at the Turing test step. Char, can you give a quick 1-minute answer? Okay, we'll wait for Char. How do you manage payments? We've answered it.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Vasily, as for asking this question. So the you asked about how much time does it take from Turing test to technical assessment. Yeah. So the oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So the technical assessment is that's the step where you get to interview with the human interviewer, and that step happens. So step happens within a week, and but something that I want to offer you actually. Can you email actually? So can you actually email support@turing.com and also mention technical assessment in your subject? And then I will actually work with the team to look at, hey, how long is it going to take for you to book the interview? And we'll also make sure that you get the right support so that you can be booked for interview as soon as possible. So please send us an email at support@turing.com with and include in the subject technical assessment, and we will personally reach out to you. Short answer is within a week, but we will give you a exact ETA.
Thank you, Char. All right, everyone. So we have 5 more minutes, so I wanted to wrap up on a few things. So in a nutshell, we already have 75 companies on the Turing platform that are all based in the United States, most of them, and they want to they want to find amazing developers just like you who can work remotely for them, right? And in the future, we don't know if this will happen for certain, but in the future, there might even be a possibility to relocate if the company really likes you, right? If the company likes you and you like the company, who knows, there might be a potential for an H-1B visa, things like that, if things work out and the company and you decide that you want to do that. But that's not really where we start. We start with just working remotely for these amazing US companies. If there is one takeaway that I would give you is that I really want you to believe in yourself. Okay. I see a lot of emails from people who are, okay, I have this Python background. Can I apply? I'm working in this. Can I apply? I want you to believe in yourself. Yes, you can apply. The answer is never no. If you're a software engineer, yes, you can apply. Yes, you should apply, right? The only way you can lose is if you don't apply. Because think of what's going to happen when you apply. Either you succeed and you can work remotely for US companies, or you don't succeed, but we will help you make your resume better. We will help you figure out what you need to focus on and practice on so that 6 months from now or 12 months from now, you can come back and work for US companies again, right? If you don't go through the process, you will never know, right? So don't delay, absolutely go through the process. And my team is also putting together a preparation guide, right, for some of these, and this will happen sometime in Feb or March, where for every test, like we will recommend some amazing coursework in Coursera, Udacity, Udemy, HarvardX, etc., where if you don't have that background already, we'll suggest where to go and learn, get that certificate, and then get some work experience in the space, and then come back. Right? So going through the process it's a journey, right? It's a journey. Don't think about the end goal. The end goal will come, but enjoy the journey, and we are there to help you. It would make us so happy to see you work remotely for awesome companies in the United States. It would make me so happy. It would make Char so happy, and it would make the 100 people who work at Turing super happy. Like we celebrate every time a developer gets matched with the company in the United States and they work. In fact, if you go to Turing's Twitter, you can see stories of that in our tweet stream. Like for example, and again, I'm seeing a lot of really cool tweets, so thank you for that. So here are live examples of developers getting awesome jobs just like you, right? So Jose from Colombia was recently matched for work as a full stack engineer at a New York City-based employee reward startup. No visa needed. And Emmanuel from Nigeria was recently matched for work as a senior React engineer at a Silicon Valley company, California-based biopharma research company. That could be you. Clement is a Turing remote developer based in Lagos, Nigeria. Here's what he had to say about being a part of the Turing family. That could be you. Gaurav from India was recently matched for work as a senior full stack engineer at a Los Angeles, California-based communication company. That could be you. You get the idea, right? So we want you to go far in your career. We want you to do great things, and we will help you do great things. And this will take time, right? I'll tell you that. It's not a great things take work, they take commitment, and they take application of effort. So this will take time. Don't think it'll be like a quick thing. If you're fully passed through all our vetting, we'll quickly match you with the job based on the jobs that we have. If not, like, we are going to be constantly figuring out awesome job opportunities to connect with you. You only have to do the work once. You do it once and you're set for life, right? Do it once, you're set for a very long time. Like, you just have to do it once. So I highly encourage you to take the jump, upload your resume, do one test. Upload your resume, do one test. Either you'll succeed or you'll get feedback on what to do to be successful. There's no way to lose here, right? And we really want you to work remotely for the world's best companies. I don't want you to only work for the companies that exist in your city. I didn't work for the companies that only existed in my city. Char, who comes from Korea, he didn't settle for the jobs that just existed in a city. Like, we all want the best job opportunities in the world. And I promise you, there are amazing job opportunities for you in the world. Hopefully, it is Turing connecting you with those job opportunities. But even if Turing is not the company connecting you with those amazing job opportunities, I promise you there are great job opportunities for you. I want you to try and reach for the stars. Right? I want you to do great things. And I have full confidence in your ability. I know you'll do great things even if Turing didn't exist, but we are there to help you get there a little bit faster, to help you achieve greatness a little bit faster. And remember the three things at Turing. We want to help you get compensation growth, so you make more money than you're making today. We want to help you grow your career. You're working on more and more interesting projects, developing your skill sets over time and growing, right? We care a lot about career growth. And finally, we want you to be connected to this amazing community of Turing developers. So I'm going to end there. Thank you all for joining me. I hear there's about 1,000 people who showed up today. Last week it was 500. This week it's 1,000. Maybe next week it'll be 2,000. Char, do you want to say a few words? And then we'll close out.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I want to say thank you so much for everyone joining. I mean, it's I think at peak we got over 1,000 people who are here concurrently, and as Jonathan has mentioned, Turing has a lot of great opportunities. So, like, one example is we just hired 16 mobile engineers for a company that's working on smart homes around the world. Like, millions of households are using the product. A very famous company. So there's a ton of opportunities. So don't fear. Please do so. And one last thing I do want to point out is I saw a lot of people. So continuing John's theme, I saw a lot of people saying hey, my resumes are not ready. I'm a little fearful. Resume, don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. We actually have a dedicated team that is working around the clock with you to make sure that your resume is in a good, presentable shape. And that is actually not what we use to vet you. So please go ahead, upload your resume. And we will help you. We will make sure that you're in great shape to work with the best companies in the world. Your success is our success. We're actually one team together. So please go ahead. And if you have any questions, you have an email from Jonathan Dennis, Turing.com. Go for it. We're here to help you succeed.
Thank you, Char. Let's build great things together, right? And it's going to be super fun. And if you could just write like a message about how you found today's town hall, anything differently we can do next time, I'd love to hear it. So I'll spend 30 seconds with you before we sign off. And also use that time to maybe share why you like working remotely, and CC Turing.com and Turing.com on Twitter and LinkedIn. And I'll follow up with an awesome Turing hoodie for you, wherever you are. And I'm going to see if there was any feedback you have, anything we can do differently next time. Apologies for some of the glitches in the start. I mean, this is some new software that we're trying. At least it held up. I mean, Zoom couldn't deal with Turing's scale, but at least this, I hope the CEO of Zoom is not listening. If he's listening, hey, it'll be nice if you can help us support 1,000 developers or more. And we'll use Zoom instead of what we're doing now. Thank you, Rudolph. Thank you, Adit. And recommend Turing to your friends. If you know amazing developer friends in your network, recommend them. We give a financial incentive. We give a referral bonus, like when you recommend friends and who get selected. So Char can tell you a little bit about that. So if you have smart engineer friends, recommend them to Turing. They can work remotely, and it's great. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Fendi. Thank you all, and hope you have a great weekend. I hope you're doing something fun, and hope COVID's not. It's made certain things that we would otherwise do maybe less easy to do. I hope you spend some time with your family, do fun stuff over the weekend. But whatever fun stuff you do, take the time to upload your resume and attempt one test. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. We'll close out here. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Ranjit. Thank you, Musa. Great questions. Thank you, Rudolph. Thank you, Amal. Thank you, Samik. I know you have more questions. Email me at jonathan.s, and we'll do this again next week. We'll go through other questions together. I know I wasn't able to get to all of your questions. We kind of had to moderate based on, there's just so much questions here. If you could see my portal, you would see there's like several hundred questions coming at the same time. Thank you, Alejo, for moderating on questions, and thank you, Char, for helping me take some of those questions. Remote work is the future of work. Like in the future, everyone's going to be working remotely. No one's going to be working in an office. At least most people will not be working in an office. You are already ahead of the curve. Right? Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Adit. Also follow @TuringCom on Twitter. That's a great way to get information on Turing. If you want to follow me, you can follow @JohnSidd, JONSIDD. That's my Twitter account, and you can also follow up. See, while we were talking, a new developer got matched. So I just saw a tweet just as we were talking. Let's see Benjamin. Just when we were in the event, I'm noticing that Benjamin has been matched to a new job, which is great. Let's check this out. Benjamin from the US was recently matched for work at a backend developer at a San Francisco, California. So it's great. Great. Thank you. And if you feel like you're a junior developer and need more time to qualify for Turing, that's totally fine, but still go through the automated tests. It'll help you figure out what companies are looking for. Right? Take advantage of this opportunity. It's a way for you to know what the best technology companies need, and you can prepare accordingly. Ranjit, yes, Turing is working in the future. So you can find me on LinkedIn as well, Jonathan Siddharth, or on Twitter, Jonathan Siddharth @JohnSidd, JONSIDD. Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Amadav. Thank you, Adit. Wow, I can't imagine we just did an event with 1,000 people. Great. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. Thank you, Faria. That's a great idea. Do we have coaching sessions? We are thinking about doing something like that, but not right now. We don't have that right now. All right. See you. Bye-bye.